This is Buckeye legend Mike Tomczak, and you're listening to OVE Podcast. It's Ohio versus everyone. Subscribe, like, listen, and follow, and don't forget your comments. Here's the show, and remember to always wash your BALLS.
Here we go. Mike Tomczak, always wash your balls, everybody. The podcast of Wrestling Wednesday. Remember, if you're hurt at work or in an accident, let attorney Robert Schuerger go to War For You at warforyou.com. He's right here with me. And you know, we're going to have to talk about your new commercials, a Hulk Hogan and a Ric Flair. Hear Me Mornings, QFM 96. Let's get to it, man. We got a lot of stuff, BJ, to get to. You know, I was thinking when we played that Mike Tomczak Open, we should have a wrestler just for our wrestling show.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Why don't we take a poll with the audience and see who they'd like to see?
Dude, there's so many people.
I know. I mean, what do you think?
There's so many people. I
guess we'll surprise the audience with a good throwback of somebody.
Arn Anderson's on here, $150. Dude, there's just so many people. Gilbert is on here for $35. The Beer City Bruisers, $25. There's just so many wrestlers. We'll get together. By the way, Al Snow's $55. I just finished this week. I binge watched it. Have you seen on Netflix? It's a couple years old.
Oh yeah. No, Matt. And the interesting part is the mayor of Louisville, the current mayor, is a part owner of Ohio Valley Wrestling, as you saw on the show.
Who is the mayor?
Craig, is it Greenblatt or he's there. He's partners with Matt Jones.
Really?
Yeah, that's the mayor of Louisville.
Dude, I wonder how much Matt Jones makes because he can buy it. Like, you're a radio show host. Like, how much are they paying you in Louisville?
Well, he's syndicated on ESPN.
Okay.
On the weekends. He's the biggest voice in Kentucky. So, from I'm sure, he's built that following up.
I'm the biggest voice in Columbus.
What's that?
I'm the biggest voice in Columbus.
No, I know that. You know what? You got to go for your syndication on ESPN.
But I think those guys on weekends don't get paid a lot.
Yeah, I hear him on the weekends, like particularly on Sundays. So he'll have like the Sunday morning afternoon show where they're talking about football. I forget who the other guy is that he brings in on it. I mean, he's pretty entertaining as a radio guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's in their ass in OVE or OVW.
Yeah, I think that part of that was a passion project, right? But with Jones and the mayor of Louisville, I think that they wanted to see it. They wanted to see if they could make it succeed. But I do think that Netflix documentary, when it first came out, it gave it a lot of momentum into people even thinking about what is the sort of underground wrestling circuit in the United, and really where did some of these big wrestlers come from? You just don't start at WWE. We talked about this last week. Logan Paul is a unique talent in that he already has the gravitas of the following, and he's got the work ethic to put the time in the ring. But 99.9% of people who get to Logan Paul's rare air in WWE have to come through the ranks. John Cena through the ranks, The Rock through the ranks, Undertaker. I mean, you name it all the way back. Obviously, even more so then the now moved up through those territories and through the ranks. So you get to see with OVW and the Netflix series what wrestling's like on the ground floor, because we still have wrestling circuits here in Ohio. I know up in Lima about every other month they have a wrestling show up there that gets a good local following on it. So
isn't there a one in Cleveland too?
Yeah. Yep, there's one in Cleveland as well.
My buddy Vic was involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where
GM.
And that's where the scouts come out too and kind of pluck you out and say, hey, we think this person's got something.
I thought it was interesting how delusional some people are, where they instantly think that they're going to the WWE. Was it Haley J? Is that her name? Where she was convinced that she was going to go to the WWE. And man, I mean, you got to put a lot of work in to get where they're at. She wasn't even close. I think smoking pot on the way to the ring is not going to get you a job in the WWE.
No. I mean, on top of having good mic skills and good in-ring skills, clearly the physique of both the men and women in the WWE have to be at the. We don't really see anybody anymore, unlike back in the day. Somebody who can get away with not having that physique in the ring.
Yeah, there's
back in the day. I mean, Big Boss Man, some of the other guys. I mean, really didn't have the physique, but they had the the mic skills and the talent.
Kevin Owens is a rarity.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, you're right. Kevin Owens is probably the one that looks the most out of shape of any of them that are in the ring today.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's cut in shape. You just have to take care of your body. That's why they're WWE superstars. You go to AEW.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they care much. Hey, let's get into it because we got Elimination Chamber preview show. What a way! It's not the go home show, but man, I don't know how WWE can top when they had The Rock come out, confront Cody Rhodes at SmackDown, and basically it's Cody, I want your soul. I want you to be my champion. The Rock mentioned afterwards in the press conference, this doesn't have to lead to a match, but it's heading somewhere.
Oh yeah, clearly it's heading somewhere. I mean, The Rock is, again, that's the kind of pop we've been talking about. What is going to be culminating for WrestleMania that's going to get people's blood boiling? The current cards as they were lining up wasn't going to do it. Sprinkling John Cena in there, I do think will help that a lot. And now you've got The Rock back engaged. Rumor had it a few months ago that his schedule wasn't going to allow him to come to WrestleMania, but that might have changed with him now inserting himself in the narrative again as we lead up to WrestleMania.
Comment, remember, like the show, subscribe, follow our giveaways. If you follow from now until the Buckeye Spring Game, that autographed Buckeye quarterback mini helmet. So just thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, click that thumbs up and give it a like and comment. We got it on the bottom of the screen. Do you want Cody to turn heel? Because that's where this is heading. And will it head into a match? I don't know. It's going to head into something. And we went, BJ, from a WrestleMania, and we were getting comments from people last week where they didn't like where WrestleMania was heading. And all of a sudden you kind of had a mid-WrestleMania, right, where there's a lot of rumors about Cena and Cody, and a lot of people will get to the Gunther, Jey Uso. I think they're taking the wrong path to build it, but we'll talk about that. Kind of a mid-WrestleMania, and now you spun it completely around where now people are interested in what's going to happen in WrestleMania. Why? Because you brought out The Rock, and now there's a whole bunch of different ways they could take this.
Oh, yeah. And again, where do they put Cena in this narrative? They've got him here now for this period of time. He's definitely going to be somewhere, I think, in the conversation in the build-up to WrestleMania. I know last week I talked about and would have liked to have seen heel Cena. Yeah. But if this narrative's turning, if this narrative's turning this way, and Cody looks like he could move heel, I could see where Cena moves, continues face in that potential showdown at WrestleMania. Again, we've got to figure out how to get Cena that belt and do it in a way that's going to bring the most attention, the most eyeballs to a PLE.
Cody mentioned that he would never turn heel. That's why I don't think he's turning heel. So let's go through the scenarios here of what we think could happen. Scenario 1, Cody slaps The Rock, sets up a possible Cody, Rock, and Cena match where Cena and Rock already have the heat. We've already seen it a couple times in WrestleMania. Putting that in a three-way dance for the title could be one. I don't think they're going to do that. I'm going to tell you next what I think they're going to do or what they should do, but that's a possibility to have Cena win the Chamber. He's only got 30 dates on that deal, 29 after the Elimination Chamber. I believe he's going to make 3 overseas, so the dates start clicking on the John Cena timeline. But would you want to see a Cena, Rock, and Cody main event in WrestleMania?
Yeah, look, those are your three, biggest stars. I think your three biggest. Definitely 2 of them are going to be your biggest attractions in Cena and The Rock. Cody, as we've said, is best if he has the appropriate heel pushing him. If not, it becomes a lackluster run as champion. So I think WWE knows that. I think Triple H knows that. So bringing The Rock in and Cena, I would like to see that.
I think Cody's entire year run has just been crap. completely crap. I don't like how he's been booked. I don't know necessarily if it's his fault, but you start his championship reign after WrestleMania. There's no rematch with Roman Reigns. Usually the way Vince McMahon liked to build up the fan favorites is you have an unstoppable bad guy and you get the heel or the good guy over by beating the unbeatable bad guy, right? That's how he sets up his premium live events. We've had AJ Styles against Cody, Kevin Owens twice, a rematch, and then circled back to him, brief Solo Sikoa feud, and then where we are at now, it's really been an uneventful push with Cody Rhodes. This might save it. Let me throw this at you here, and people can chime in if you want Cody Rhodes to go heel, and then it would be a heel Cody with Rock against John Cena or whoever wins Elimination. I think you are going to see The Rock helping CM Punk win in Elimination Chamber, and it's going to get set up by Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Heyman still owes him.
Paul Heyman needs to be involved in the product. Not having Roman Reigns wrestle 10 times. What is Roman Reigns making? Doing like maybe he'll have a brief, if he's up against Seth Rollins, we're going to see Roman Reigns maybe 5 more times in the WrestleMania. Was he doing 10 appearances a year? You can't leave Paul Heyman to just 10 appearances a year. He's not involved with Jey Uso. The character's too over. He's not involved with Jimmy Uso. There's no bloodline right now. We know he's not going to go to the new bloodline. That's been done and over. So how do you keep Paul Heyman relevant and in the product? He makes a deal with The Rock. Rock somehow helps. Maybe Cody slaps Rock and walks away. Then later in the show, Rock somehow gets involved in the Elimination Chamber where he orders, I'm The Rock. I'm the final boss. Open up the damn chamber. Commands, because Rock has been saying, I run the show. Yeah. He commands the referee to unlock it. People are freaking out. It's Cena and Punk, the last 2 guys. Rock comes in. Rock bottoms Cena. Says, there you go. CM Punk gets the 1, 2, 3, and then you stop. They don't tell you what happens. They just leave the Elimination Chamber, and Punk is going to WrestleMania. Then they tease The Rock showing up, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is. Rock shows up. And hey, the wise man made a deal with The Rock. You turned your back on me, Cody. I could have had your soul. You could have been my champion, but you weren't. And now CM Punk did the deal with Paul Heyman. He owed him one, and The Rock wanted to screw you, Cody. So it's because it's not going to change the Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. In the heat with CM Punk and Seth Rollins will stay after WrestleMania. That's always going to be there, right?
How about the heat with Logan Paul and CM Punk now?
I think that's just a builder of
for Elimination.
We don't have anything for Logan Paul except for the Elimination Chamber. Yeah. CM Punk already has heat with Drew McIntyre. Or Drew McIntyre's not in it. Drew McIntyre's in it, right? So he's already got heat with Drew McIntyre. He's already got heat with Seth Rollins. He eliminated CM Punk. Logan Paul did. So let's get a little heat with CM Punk and Logan Paul because we need him to fill a segment. I think that's just another character building, another thing to build the excitement for the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because I didn't see that going beyond the Elimination Chamber once we start moving towards WrestleMania.
It could set something up down the road.
Yeah.
Right? Giving you something there of Logan Paul, like, I'm the guy who, you might have beat me in Elimination Chamber. I eliminated you in Royal Rumble. What do you say? Money in the Bank. Or maybe down the road, CM Punk's in Money in the Bank, and so is Logan Paul, right? And it's just keep building that story between those two till they eventually wrestle. Like this was going on. When you get a guy like Logan Paul and CM Punk where they're not wrestling every week, it's pretty easy to build a story where you don't have them in every week, but you have them in certain spots.
Yeah, because both of them are good enough that's going to be enough of a draw to have them in those spots. You don't need them on every week, every time.
Yeah, I just think having The Rock interfere, and because I thought the buildup was good with Cody and Seth Rollins on Raw, where Seth Rollins comes out and brings up the points. Dude, I gave up my belt for you.
Yep.
To beat Roman Reigns. And now you're teaming with Roman Reigns. You're gonna sell your soul to The Rock, dude. And I gave this up, and I hope you don't do it. It was almost like Rollins was gonna do that teased heel turn that we've been seeing, and I still don't think he's going to. I think Triple H is doing a good job of blurring the lines with CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, where Rollins, don't let me down, dude. I gave up everything for you. And I think in the end, Cody's not going to let him down, but I think it's going to set something up bigger in a WrestleMania, BJ, where you really didn't give a crap. Now I think getting The Rock involvement, maybe a CM Punk deal with the Wise Man, starts making you care about WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this SmackDown was a kickoff to really, I think, getting people excited about it. Because before that, we didn't know where the narrative, we didn't know where the roads were leading to. And it wasn't very exciting. The personalities, some of the stories were sort of reincarnated from the past. But I like this line. I like the tack that they're taking. I like it when The Rock's involved.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, he just brings eyeballs, outside eyeballs. You start caring,
and he's still incredible on the mic. I mean, he's still, that alone. Wrestling is about storytelling, as we've talked about now. In-ring talent's one thing, but the storytelling will trump it every time. That's what keeps people coming back.
And he's extremely creative, right? So if Rock's going to be in something that's going to be big. We might not like how they kind of fudged. It was going to be Rock and Roman, and then Cody and Roman last year. It got messed up, but the end result was great. They quickly swerved. They did the turn. They realized they made a mistake. They quickly fixed it. And that little side note of how they got there really isn't important. It's just, boy, that WrestleMania was special. The Rock will make WrestleMania special.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what, that's what those moments christen and need is that.
You can comment, what role do you want Rock to have in WrestleMania? Let us know. Do you want Rock in a match? Do you want him as a manager? Do you want him to interfere against Cody? Chime in on the comments of where you want to see Rock's role. Don chimes in. Ever since Roman lost, WWE has been trash. Brock needs to come back since Roman is now a part-timer. I can't disagree with you. I
would love to see Brock come back.
I would too, but what are you going to do with him unless it's a Wise Man CM Punk, Brock Lesnar CM Punk?
Yeah, no, the opening has got to be there. And, Brock's not going to be full time. So the opening has got to be right to bring him back. But I do think that would get a great pop and bring some great, continue to bring great heat in. Triple H is also probably smart enough to know he wants to space out the heat as well. He doesn't want all the pops all at once. He still has to, keep building for each of these PLEs.
Unless, and you're onto something here, unless you have Logan Paul cutting one of his cocky promos, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and they set up a Brock Lesnar Logan Paul. I don't know.
That would be.
I don't know if WWE might want to protect Logan Paul because I think Brock Lesnar, a guy like Logan Paul, probably has respect of the wrestlers because he comes in and he performs. He does a good performance, right? But I don't think a guy like Brock Lesnar respects Logan Paul. So that might be the way to go, is have Logan Paul cutting one of his promos and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar. The place would go electric.
Oh, electric. I mean, that would, that's worthy of a main event on a PLE.
Dodd brings up the point in the comments, Brock versus Breaker. It's weird where they're going with Breaker because he's kind of that tweener. He gets into it with he gets into it with good guys. There's really no clear direction with Braun Breaker. I guess that's good and bad.
Yeah, I just wish they would have. I wish they would have given. I wish he would have had the title longer. I wish he could have really asserted himself as a true heel.
Well, he has the title now.
Well, I mean, but bounce back and forth, and then he was losing to some mid card guys. It's difficult to, you almost have to recreate the heat that he's. When he came in, I'm thinking this guy's going to be undefeated for X amount of matches, be champ for a while, be a dominant figure. That then at some point some major face is going to take on. But what happened was he wins the belt, and the next time he defends it, he loses it, and then he kind of goes off the, then he's kind of out of it for a period of time. Then they bring him back, and now his involvement to me seems muddled. Now with AJ Styles coming back, there's more of a natural fit for Breakker to come in. I think Breakker's a talent. I just hope they do him right, like Don said, with the right narrative. They've got a talent there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird right now, BJ, where you look at the United States champion, Nakamura has it, and then you look at the Intercontinental champion. It's like, what are you doing with these guys? Usually you use these belts for a push to get someone in the main event spotlight, right? You use the belts to Macho Man Randy Savage had the Intercontinental Championship belt. Then they pushed him up. There's several examples that you could go through where and I'm talking about new guys here. I'm not talking about like giving it to Sheamus like a retread to keep something to do. I'm talking about a young guy like Braun Breaker who wins his first championship and then they build him up, and that's a stepping stone for more, bigger and better things. In this case, though, I don't know what the hell they are doing with either the U.S. Championship or the Intercontinental.
Well, I'd love to see a narrative where somebody consolidates the belts and with one person, kind of do a cannonball run where boom, 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 and you're the unified champion across all the belts.
Yeah.
I'd love to see something like that. I think you could build a narrative around that. Whatever horse you select, whether it's a face or a heel, it'd be great to have a heel, someone like a Breakker type, and he's wins the first belt. Narrative builds up, wins the second belt, and now you move into a next WrestleMania. Is he going to be able to grab the Grand Slam?
Hey, this is what I would like to see, and we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about what they're doing with Solo and Fatu. This is what I want to see, BJ, of a build for WWE. And if they could do this, is great. And it's long-term thinking. This is long-term thinking, what I'm going to mention here, okay? Braun Breaker, continue to build. I don't care if you have the belt on him, but you have to keep him as the indestructible guy, right? Then on the other side in SmackDown, keep the push for Jacob Fatu. Next WrestleMania or this SummerSlam, I think it might be too soon for this, but either SummerSlam this year, you're doing 2 days in Minneapolis, or next WrestleMania, I want to see Fatu versus Breaker. But the build's got to be there.
Yeah, the build's got to be there.
You can't half-ass this. You have to build creatively these two guys where and they've almost ruined it with Breaker, not with Fatu, but you could still recapture the Breaker magic, right? Because if you have Fatu and Breaker and you build it right, that's a match people want to see. I think it's a main event match people want to see. I think it would be crazy ass good, but only if you do it right. The problem is I just don't have any faith right now in anyone, BJ, to do it right.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to really interweave the narratives. We got to figure out how to, how to get them to get them together. But
they could do that. No,
if anybody could do it, I think Triple H and his creative could figure it out.
Yeah, because the problem's not how they do it, because they got guys in and out of SmackDown and Raw, the crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's how you do it creatively of the push. You couldn't, like, let's say
to make people want to make people care.
Yeah,
to make people invested in the story.
Spot on, because you could do that this year if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, but you would rush it, and then it wouldn't be a main event. It would be a secondary card on the secondary card.
And I don't think people would care as much. I think the P1s, as you say in radio in my business, like that number one hardcore fan would love it. The hardcore fan would go, "Oh, this is great." The casual fan would go, "Well, why are these guys wrestling?"
Yeah.
Without a buildup of a Braun Breaker of I am, almost like a Bronson Reed of like, I'm the man. You know what they should do? Bronson Reed comes back. That should be a Bronson Reed like, hey, dude, Bronson, they should almost have it where Bronson Reed comes back and he's typhooning the crap out of someone, and it's almost like Bronson Reed comes out and goes, like almost like a Goldberg, you're next. I could take the big man down. That's how they have to be feed Bronson Reed is the indestructible good guy, because fans want to cheer Braun Breaker.
Yes, they do. They do. Even when he can't, even as he came out as a heel, they were cheering him. They were barking with him.
Exactly. Let's take a quick 60-second break. When we come back, more of the Go Home Show at Raw, because we got new women's tag team champions on the OVE podcast.
We go to war for you.
At Schuerger Trial Attorneys, we don't back down. Accident? Call us today at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or visit warforyou.com for a free consultation. Know your rights, because results matter. That's 877-WAR-FOR-YOU. 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or visit warforyou.com.
War for you, warforyou.com.
Dan Robb Management has over 40 years experience in all aspects of payroll, processing checks, tax filing, W-2 and 1099 preparation. First-time customers get 50% off their first 3 months processing fees. Give them a call now, 614-297-1158 or denrobmanagement.com. Is the OVE podcast. BJ, do you want to play real quick before we get on? Should we play for everybody your new War for You Hulk Hogan spot?
Yeah, if you can get it on.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let me tell you something, maniacs. When you get into an accident, you deserve a world champion in your corner. Don't let these insurance companies out there run wild on you. There are only a few things certain in life: death, taxes, and warforyou.com. I got this bad allergy. I'm allergic to BS. When these outside insurance companies call, tell them to take their BS and shove it, just like the BS of me having to cover up this logo so I don't get sued. Tell them to call your attorneys at warforyou.com. What are they going to do when War for You runs wild on you? Don't let the insurance company pin you to the mat. Call 877-WAR-FOR-YOU for the people's justice.
How good is that? I got to format that and then adjust the volume, but how good?
Hey, there's something like be able to bring your profession, your passion, and bring it together, you know?
Hey, let's go through the rest of the SmackDown card, and then we'll quickly, because I know my guy, Little Italy, is on there and wants to know if he did the Fatu, if we talked about Fatu Solo. No, we didn't. I actually think in this one is one of those things where WWE teases a feud, right, of Solo and Fatu in WrestleMania. I don't know if we're going to get that, though. Because sometimes, look at what we did with the New Day. We thought New Day was going to break up. All right, they're heading that way. So a guy moves out of the way. He hits the guy. I don't know if that's the way we're heading, or if people could chime in the comments. Do you want a Solo Fatu WrestleMania match? Is that something you want to see? Or do you want to see Solo Fatu and the continued Bloodline storyline? Does that make sense? I think, because if you don't have a group of the Bloodline, then there's like 8 different guys all over the place separated from the Bloodline. And it's like, you know, members of a rock band all over the place. It's like the Van Halen. The Van Halen brothers are here. Michael Anthony's with Sammy Hagar. David Lee Roth's over here. They're all doing music. Boy, wouldn't it be great if some of them were together?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, the Bloodline holds a number of those personalities together, wrestlers, and without it, their individual ability to be independent wrestlers, I think, is difficult. All their identities are tied into that Bloodline narrative right now.
Yeah, it is. Let's throw Little Italy here. Ufala, the battle for the Ufala, all out battle, everyone for themselves. Roman, Solo, Tongo, Fatu, and then The Rock comes out. That would be fantastic. It really would. That would have to be a Survivor Series thing they do next year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And you don't know when The Rock's available, so you have to change plans. So that's unfortunately.
Well, they were saying that even his SmackDown appearance was kind of a last-second thing because of how his calendar's working out. So I think they kind of bring him in when they can get him, and they blend the narrative into how they're going to do it, even though obviously they don't want to wreck it. And maybe that's why he said it might not culminate in a match. But his presence alone can set the table for where we're headed in WrestleMania and where where the wrestlers are going to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Fatu and Solo. I think they've almost not ruined Solo, but they ruined that Solo push of him, the leader.
Yeah.
Credibility, but not
shine's off.
Yeah. So do you have Fatu go against Solo? I don't know. Is that something anyone wants to see? I just think it's better if you have one group of the Bloodline, and we know there's other members of that family in NXT. They just haven't debuted yet.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them have signed. We're still kind of waiting for that. I know doesn't Haku have another kid? The kid who was in New Japan, I think he's like 6'5" or 6'7", right? I don't know what his name will be in the WWE. So they still have members they can bring in.
Yeah.
I just really like Solo and Fatu together.
No, so do I. I mean, and Fatu's actually coming into his own, which is great to see. I mean, we'd always heard good things about him coming up through, but his in character performance with his character has been great.
Yeah, Fatu has been fantastic, and they're giving him more. They're giving him more of a speaking role. They obviously want to push him. Anything in SmackDown, you know what? I'll give WWE credit. The Miz Carmelo Anthony tag team, giving two guys something to do that have nothing to do.
Yeah, no. Hey, you know what? They found each other. I mean, the Miz tried with a few other tag partners. I think this is one that you could see the chemistry is going to be there. I think.
Yeah, because one advantage, and pay attention to this, guys and girls who are watching the show. When you have nothing going on and you have limited time, and I've heard Miz talk about this. I've heard Bully Ray talk about this on his podcast. If they give you 2 minutes, you got to make it the best 2 minutes. The one thing that Miz does and Carmelo does is if you give them, even if they're talking in the locker room to someone and they're not involved, they make the most of their time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Miz has shown time and time again, his mic skills, his acting skills are great. No matter if he's in the ring or not, just a little snapshot of him gets the crowd going.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, he does a fantastic job. I'm interested to see what they do with it. And anytime you have R-Truth involved, he's so good and funny. And anytime you have R-Truth involved, it's comedy gold, especially with SmackDown 3 hours right now.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, R-Truth definitely adds that. And again, he's so good on the mic in character, particularly this new character that he's had going for the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's Zilla Fatu, by the way. Thanks in the chat for pointing that out to me as the other member. And then who would be the other? There's someone from New Japan who's in the family. Who's Haku? Someone could help me out on the and Little Italy just put Louisiana Night. How funny was that when R-Truth introduced his local hometown tag team partner there in New Orleans, and here's Louisiana Night. It's hilarious. It's too good. It's really R-Truth is too good.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal.
Hey, let's go over Elimination Chamber. We got about 5 more minutes in the pod. And remember to hit that little thumb button if you're watching on YouTube. Appreciate you. I want to go through it real quick. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Something's telling me, BJ, that it's I know it's an unsanctioned match. Usually with a build-up match like this, with the past history, you'd get a little more than a 3-week build-up in this one. I'm trying to figure out what WWE's going to do, because if you want filler, there's plenty of filler for you in other matches. WWE's got to be going somewhere with this, correct? Either a WrestleMania match or a Randy Orton finally coming back.
I think so. I think they might be buying time for when Orton's ready to come back. So they've got to keep it. They've got to keep it front and center. It kind of keeps. It's like keeping the dinner on the stove until Randy gets home.
Yeah, but there's got to be something in this to where it's not over on, what is it, Saturday?
I don't think it will be. I mean, look, they're getting personal now, in terms of visiting parents and houses. Yeah. What's that?
They've done this so many times before, though.
But again, it still must be popular, or else they wouldn't be redoing this type of narrative. Well, I think it's the only narrative. It's the only narrative that they can go with if they want to keep Orton warm. I mean, if they just kill it and don't keep it going, there's not many directions you can go with the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens heat right now. They've already been through all of them.
Yeah, I think if you do see Orton and Kevin Owens, if you're worried about Sami Zayn, you could throw him in a bloodline, something with Jimmy Uso, or you could have Sami Zayn and Logan Paul fight.
The interesting thing about Zayn is that Zayn has a flexibility of character. We've seen this now over the past year. I mean, he's in and out of different narratives. They kind of move him around in different sort of quick hit storylines, and he's very good. He's very flexible at either being somebody who's aggressive and upset versus somebody who's the underdog finally winning. I mean, he's evolved that character over the past year on numerous different times, and he's been able to pivot so well each time that nothing's really stuck to him in terms of typecasting him as one way or the other. Well, so
Go ahead.
So no, yeah, that's why I think with Zayn they can get away with continuing he's a great filler to keep the heat going until they figure out what they're going to do with Orton.
Well, you know what he does with Sami Zayn is you care about his character. They can do that with him because you are emotionally attached to Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
That's the power of what Sami Zayn has done over the years, starting with the honorary Uso and then building it up. Is people care about Sami Zayn, you're emotionally connected with him, and that's why it works.
Exactly. Yep.
That's why it absolutely works. Let's do Elimination Chamber for you. Who do you think wins that match? I think Kevin Owens beats Sami Zayn.
I think so too. Because I think it's we're setting up for that next round, and I think Owens beating him does that.
Yeah. Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus, against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
I think Tiffany time wins.
Yeah, I think you have to build up Tiffany Stratton. And
we know what we want. We want Flair Stratton. So you've got to keep building up Tiffany time if we're going to have that culminate.
Yep, you have to hate Charlotte Flair. Fans right now are kind of indifferent. She doesn't move the needle when it comes to heat, right? You got to move that meter and make me feel. I think they've kind of botched the beginning of Charlotte Flair coming in, right? With these, I missed you. Did you miss me? No. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Go listen to it. They're good ones. My guy Brandon's been listening to us. He loves us. And if you know someone who likes wrestling, mention the podcast because I don't think a lot of people know what we're doing, where we're at. Charlotte Flair should have came out after the Royal Rumble and said, I'm the dominant person. I just crushed everybody. Instead, they kind of tippy-toed with it. So this is a way to make Tiffany Stratton the good guy. Charlotte Flair should somehow get involved in this. I know she hates Nia Jax. Wait for Nia Jax to leave. Good guys got to go over here. Charlotte Flair should come out with a chair afterwards or a big boot to Trish Stratus and then beat the hell out of Tiffany Stratton. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. We got to get that heat going before WrestleMania. If that's what the people want to see.
Yep. 100%. You have to make me emotionally involved in this. If you're going to have the women, that's why to me, and we'll get to the women's elimination chamber, the only way to go to make this work, doesn't it have to be Liv Morgan winning the chamber? Because it's you got to look at it, and they could go anywhere, BJ, with this. But what does it do with Bianca Belair and Naomi if they win? They have something coming up with Jade Cargill, right?
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez, too soon. Alexa Bliss, they're teasing the Wyatt family, right?
Yeah.
Bayley, she's a throw-in. The only thing that makes sense is Liv Morgan from the standpoint. It also continues the Judgment Day behind the scenes. Finn Balor losing his crap again, right? Yeah. How funny was Carlito in the Yellow Apple? Right? But it continues that because Finn's not doing well. And I think he's losing his shit because of it or losing his mind because of it. Dominic Mysterio is still with – the only answer is I know we've seen it a few times, but the only answer on the women's side is Liv Morgan because that's the natural rivalry.
I agree.
So I think Liv, any backup, because guys, I don't know if you can do a backup because there's no one else on the women's side you look at and go.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody besides Liv wins that, where do they head? I mean, where does unless we're missing something, I don't see where there's a natural path on why that would happen.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense from a story standpoint, but this is the WWE. Anything could happen. Elimination Chamber on the men's side. Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth frickin' Rollins. This to me is, when I watch it visually as a wrestling fan, BJ, I hate this event because of the camera. You got one. Do you have a camera? I don't think they even have a cameraman in the cage, do they?
No.
In the structure. I just don't like how they film this, how it looks. I love the brutality.
Yeah. I think Cena wins this.
Do you?
I do. And I think that culminates him into WrestleMania, and that makes and then if you're Triple H, now you've got your bookends, right? You've got The Rock in his narrative, you've got Cena now lined up and locked in. People know that he's lined up and locked in, which means there's going to be momentum into the into WrestleMania. I know it goes against your theory on CM Punk, unless they can, like you said, shoehorn Cena in with that same kind of heat and still have CM Punk win at Elimination Chamber.
I got another way here. Let me just throw Booker at you, okay? let's say Cena does win, because I think you look at it and go, John Cena's going to win this match. It makes sense, right? I mean, what I said is a little out there, and a little too out there, because I think we're going to see CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. But all right, Cena wins. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Cody slaps Rock. Rock comes out and confronts John Cena and says, John, you be my champion. John, you be the guy. Rock and Cena, 2 actors together. We could do movies together. Join The Rock to beat out crybaby Cody. And that's where Cena turns on doesn't turn on The Rock, but punches The Rock. And then Cena and Cody next week, or fast forward, could say, you know what, Rock? Or you know what, Cody? I'm fine with having a 3-way dance. Rock, why don't you join us in the ring? And that's another way to include Rock in a 3-way where it doesn't have to be a CM Punk, but it's The Rock, Cena, and Cody. And now I care because you're building the story for me.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I like that angle. I mean, that twist would definitely, I just don't know if The Rock's ready to jump in the ring like that right now.
Well, Cena hasn't won in 7 years, a solo match, so.
Yeah. Right? I mean, both of them could be. I mean, Cena at least got a little bit in the Rumble, but yeah.
But this way, if you do a 3-way match with Cody, Cena, and The Rock, it protects the 2 guys who haven't wrestled in a while when you do a 3-way match.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. It doesn't force them to have to. They can take their rest when they need to while the other one's at work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a way you protect people in the ring and still have a good match for guys. Rock hasn't wrestled in a year. Cena did a Royal Rumble appearance. Cena's not going to wrestle until WrestleMania, right? Yeah. So that's a good, and then they're pros, so they know what they're doing, but you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So you're going Cena. I am still going to hold on to hope that it's some type of CM Punk. I think best for business is heel CM Punk. That's just me. I think CM Punk is so good and a top heel is needed right now.
Yeah.
I just think they need a guy you want to dislike. And I don't think it's Seth Rollins. It can be Seth Rollins, but I think if you want to make an impact of a bad guy, of a Roman Reigns type bad guy, that type of level bad guy, there's only one. It's CM Punk.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, Punk's one of my favorites. I mean, I love him as a heel on the mic.
Oh, he's so good. He's still got it. So he's still doing, I'd say he's still the preeminent top 3 in the WWE right now. So I think my heart, my gut is telling me Cena. I just want CM Punk, right? I want The Rock to get involved. He probably won't. It'll probably be Cody punches The Rock, and then they leave the suspense there. That's probably the more likely scenario that they're going to do. I like my idea better, but I don't think they'll do it.
You got to turn it into creative.
Yeah. I just think that's what we're going to see, because you wonder what the next step is between The Rock and Cody.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you do, The Rock comes back for Elimination Chamber, it kind of muddies the water a little bit.
Yep.
But, Little Italy just chimed in about what about Punk's favor from Heyman. We talked about that in the first segment, how I said Punk's favor from Heyman is The Rock getting involved. If you missed it, Little Italy, Rock comes down to the ring. He's the final boss. Let me in the Elimination Chamber. They let him in. He rock bottoms Cena and then say, there you go, Punk. And then they leave it. Punk wins, and Punk's kind of looking around like, what the hell's going on? All right, I'll take it. I like that.
Exactly.
I like that. BJ, good stuff this week, man.
As always, Torg, let's go Elimination Chamber, baby.
Yep, warforyou.com. Where are you watching it at?
Lily's got a cheer competition this weekend, so I'll be watching it at my place with her, my parents.
All right. Remember, if you have a buddy who's a wrestling fan, or go on my Facebook feed, the OVE Facebook feed, and just share. Hit the share button, man, and tell people about it. It's funny. Just talking to a buddy this week, he goes, dude, is that your wrestling podcast? I go, yes, listen to it. And he listened to it, and he writes me back, dude, that is really good. So if people don't know about it, people can't join.
Keep spreading the word.
Yeah, comment. We're very interactive on this wrestling show with reading your comments and getting you involved in the conversation, man. It's been a fun last 3 weeks with you guys. I love that Don is involved and he's listening to it every Wednesday. So, man, keep it coming. Keep the comments going, and we'll give you more wrestling, man, for sure. Sam and I are back tomorrow at 3 with a little Buckeye nugget for you that's really, really good. So you want to tune in tomorrow at 3. BJ, thanks, buddy.
Torg, thanks, man.
Hey, it's Torg for Custom Air. You know, when it comes to my HVAC system, I don't trust just anyone. I trust Custom Air. These guys are fast, reliable, and they know their stuff. Fall's just around the corner, and now's the perfect time to make sure your HVAC equipment is running at its best. Don't wait until it's too late. Get ahead of the game. I wouldn't trust anyone else with my home, and neither should you. Visit them on the web at customairco.com and keep your home comfortable all season long. Custom solutions, custom comfort, Custom Air. Thinking of buying or selling a home? Give Lauren Torgerson a call with Next Home Experience. Lauren has been servicing the Columbus metropolitan area for 10 years. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, considering building, want to upsize or downsize, Lauren can help you with all your real estate needs. Get a free market analysis for your area and get started working on making tomorrow's dreams happen today. Call or text Lauren at 614-296-3952, 614-296-3952, or email at torgersonlauren@gmail.com.